for it, guys. Alfred Montaner here at the Annapolis 2023 Boat Show. And I've had so many people ask me, go to the Candela boat, Candela. How do you say this boat? First of all, Sophia, can you introduce yourself?
Of course. My name is Sophia. I work as a business developer for Candela, and we're here at the Annapolis Boat Show with the Candela C8. It's a 28-foot electric hydrofoiling boat.
Okay.
We have a 69 kilowatt-hour battery, which gives us an impressive 57 nautical mile range and 22 knots. The foil system means that we lift the entire hull out of the water, which reduces drag with 70 to 80%, which makes it possible for us to go long range and in high speeds. So we have the same consumptions in 5 knots as in 22, which is quite impressive.
So you guys are making this boat where?
So this boat is made in Stockholm, Sweden.
In Stockholm?
Yes.
So there's a lot of electric manufacturers that are coming out of Sweden.
Yeah.
Is that a big thing already that you're seeing over there in Sweden as well?
We're a very environmentally cautious country, and we do have a lot of advanced engineering, which has, of course, has helped us in a lot of ways.
Okay, so obviously as someone who films a lot of shows and I'm always on power boats, some people say, well, how long can you go and how far and what happens if there's no electricity? Like you guys were hooked up to a 50 amp.
Yep, so we use shore power. You can use anything from a wall socket down to or up to DC charging actually. And on a DC charger, it takes 0 to 100 to charge, or it takes 45 minutes to charge 0 to 100, which is quite impressive. We did a range challenge a few weeks back where we managed to do 420 nautical miles in 24 hours. That's about 465 land miles with the help of a DC charger.
So I'm assuming you have like software and the whole, it all has to work between the electric, the batteries, the software. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Of course. So the way that it works is that then it's a fully automated foil system. So when you're driving, all you need to do is push up the throttle and steer with the wheels. So what we have sensors all around the hull that measure the distance between the boat and the water surface for the boat to understand which position it's currently in. We also have gyro sensors and GPS sensors, and all of that is used in combination with like steering and other factors to understand which the current position of the boat is and how far it's off equilibrium, which is a 0-degree roll in any direction.
So the distance between the water from the foil that it elevates the boat, how much distance is that? Is it a foot, 2 feet?
So when we're foiling, we're approximately 1.5 foot above the water surface. It varies a lot with the waves. Obviously, if you're in the bottom of a wake, then you're higher above, versus if you're on the peak of a wave, you're not as far off. But if it's completely flat, it's about 1.5 foot above the water surface. So all of these calculations that we have on the sensors are calculated and then pushed to our actuation, which are motors on top of the struts that make adjustments more than 100 times per second to change the angle of attack of the foil.
So you said earlier 56 miles is the range on something like this?
57 nautical miles.
Which is a lot.
It's a lot. It's more than most people use for a day when they're out on the water.
I mean, like a casual day of boating.
Yeah.
I don't go that far. I don't really want to be on the water that far.
No, trust me, when we did the 24-hour challenge, our average speed throughout the day was 17 knots, including the downtime on charging. I can tell you that going that distance in 24 hours would be very exhausting.
What was the 24-hour challenge? What was that?
We did it together with Northvolt and Plug, a European charging company. We did that in Stockholm.
So is there infrastructure starting to be built out for some of these electric boats that are on the water?
Oh, definitely. There's a lot of actors currently. It's kind of like an ongoing turf war to roll out the DC infrastructure in the marine environment. The good thing is you always have the shore power to fall back on. And that infrastructure is already existing.
What's this going on here? Is that the...
That is the back rudder. If I turn on the engine, you can see that... Oh, I'm actually charging right now. But I'll show you that later. But
we're gonna do a sea trial on this.
Yeah, we're gonna do a sea trial on this, and so stay tuned for that.
Okay, and we'll show them the speed and all the crazy stuff that we can do with this and the performance.
Yeah.
And I'll show them that. Guys, Candela. I say Candela because in Spanish,
Candela
means fire.
Yeah.
And then
it is fire.
Yeah, it is. This boat is fire, literally. All right, guys, wait for the sea trial.
Wonderful.
It is happening right now.
Stay tuned.
Wait, we're gonna start the engine right now, Sophia?
Yes, we are.
All right, guys, wait for the...
That was it. The engine is started.
That's it?
I hope you can hear me above all the engine noises.
Wait. That's it? That's start.
That's it.
I have so many questions.
Go ahead, ask them all. I want to hear
the batteries.
The batteries are currently where we're standing.
Okay.
So that's where we have the batteries.
All right. And when you're in the dock, so the wings are down. Right?
Yep. So I mean, I prefer docking with them down.
Okay.
Because that makes me so much more stable.
And what is the depth? How deep do the wings go?
5 feet.
Okay. So
When they're down.
Right now they're down 5 feet.
Exactly. Okay. But in when you retract it, when you lift it up, you're only 1.5 feet deep.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Exactly.
All right. So where's the mark of the actual how much charge you have? Does it show it here?
So I have 68%. You can see. We were out shooting content for 2 hours this morning, so we didn't really have time to recharge it back to 100 before our first demo, which we had before this.
Okay.
But we'll take a look at it again when we're back.
So what should we expect when we lift up on the foils? What should we expect?
So you're gonna expect that when you see that I go in this speed, you're gonna hear the water a lot, and you're gonna hear more of the engine than we're actually gonna hear when we're up on the foils. So it's louder now than it is when we're out, which is quite fascinating.
Will the wake, since we're on top of the water, will the wake disappear?
Yes, I mean in some waves you're gonna feel it a little bit like going over speed bumps. So you're gonna feel it like the waves hitting against the hull, but we're definitely way more stable over. We won't have the slamming.
Right. What about on a rough day? How does that affect, like on a really rough, say 3 to 5 day? Is this boat capable of doing something like that, or it's not designed to be in that type of element?
So up to 3 feet, it's fine. You can do a little bit more of what you want. You don't need to think about where the waves are coming from and the winds, and you can turn freely and whatnot. When you have, I think I've handled waves up to 5-6 feet that have been ferry induced, meaning that they're more powerful than the natural current one, and they're shorter and choppier. But it all depends on kind of the size of the wave. So if you have a really short, choppy wave, then the limitation is about. I mean, it depends on if you're actively knowing understanding what you're doing. So if you're hitting straight on, it's easier to take it, and then you could be fine up to 6-7 feet. But over that, then you can't really.
Listen, I don't want to go out if it's 3 feet.
No.
I mean, I want to go 1 and 2s.
Exactly.
I'm old already. It hurts every time.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, the worst thing that can happen is that the boat is going to land you, and then you just go back slowly. I mean, in a 28-foot boat, you wouldn't be out in 22 knots in those speeds anyway.
Okay, so I rarely hear anything right now. So
we're going 4 knots. We'll show a little bit. I'll prove our consumption and I'll prove our concept to us. So I'll go up to the speed in which we're going to be on the foil. So right now we're doing 4.8 knots, and you can see that our consumption is 1.3, 1.4 kilowatt hours per nautical mile. So in approximately 5 knots, we have a 1.3, 1.4 kilowatt hours per nautical mile consumption. So when we're up on the foils in 22 knots, we're going to be around that as well.
And what is top speed?
Top speed is 27 knots.
So can we water ski behind it?
Yes.
Water ski, check mark.
Wakeboarders hate us because we don't make a wave, but the water skiers love us.
Jenny is an awesome water skier.
Yeah.
We go out on a freshwater lake in Wyoming.
Oh, really?
So I've been trying
Yeah.
check this out because this is really cool.
So you've actually done your research on this particular boat.
I did not ask the ski question yet, so this
Okay.
is perfect.
Okay,
Because
good.
he's been following this boat for
I keep
over
sending
a
her
year.
the Instagram whatever links, and she's like, all right, whatever. I said, they're coming to Annapolis. We can get a ride on this thing. So, yeah.
I had a bunch of people tell me, Alfred, you can't leave Miami while filming this boat. You can't go back to Miami, you know? So I've been filming all these other boats, and they always see me on power boats. And I
Oh,
actually
sorry. I'm
did
gonna have to go up.
I did a
Very
sea trial on an electric boat on my channel, and my audience digged it.
Yeah.
Some people think that it's either or one or the other, and that shouldn't be the case. It's an alternative for based on where you boat or where you're at, right? I can see a lot of advantages for electric, right? Did you see how, like, she started it up? Like, for a man, I want to disappear in the middle of the night and no one's gonna know. My wife will never know. Did he leave the boat? No, he did. I come back, I'll be right next to her, and she won't know nothing.
That's too
Jay, do you want to sit next to me there?
Let me get back here real quick so
Yeah.
I can show you a little bit of this.
Yeah.
This is
You want me to point?
Yeah.
cool stuff. Yes.
So we're getting closer to the takeoff zone, or where we don't have any speed restrictions anymore. We have seatbelts for 3 reasons. First of all, we're a Swedish company. Volvo invented the 3-point seatbelt, and we're very proud in our heritage. Second of all, you could argue that all high-speed boats should have a seatbelt because a lot of fatal accidents could have been non-fatal if people were having a seatbelt. And third of all, we're so stable that when we delivered our first boat, we realized that people would stand up not holding on to something in 22 knots. And we were like, ooh, let's install some seatbelts. Yeah, beautiful. So buckle up before takeoff.
She just said takeoff, guys, like we're gonna fly.
We are.
Are we ready
ready.
for takeoff? So the only thing I do is I make sure I'm fairly straight, and I have a good direction of a takeoff pad, so to say. And what I do then is just make sure that my rudder position is straight, which I can see here on the screen, or I can physically look in the back. And then I max out the throttle, and the boat does everything for me. So we're starting to take off. We're lifting up, and now we're above the water. The wake is gone.
Sick. Oh man, that is so sick.
So right now we're going 23 knots,
That is so wild.
and we can have a normal conversation, as you can tell. So we're going 23, and if you look at the consumption again, we're having around 1.1 kilowatt hours per nautical miles.
So this has 65. What's the capacity on this?
69 kilowatt hours.
So in theory, we can go for an hour.
No, like 3 hours approximately, up to 3 hours in 22 knots.
And do you have control on how fast you get up to speed?
And that was the fastest I did, but that is a software thing. So we're considering, it has varied over time. Yeah, it's all about when it activates the software landing and whatnot.
Yes, the ski model.
So you can see. Exactly. So you can see that when I'm turning, we're leaning into the curve rather than something else. And the only way to actually tell that there are some waves going on is by looking on the side. And you can barely feel the only way to feel how fast it is if you put your hands up. Because I feel the windshield gets a lot of great protection also for you in the back.
Yeah, I've been watching this YouTube.
Yeah.
What's your impressions? Is this what you thought?
This is. I'm so excited and
It's
happy
so-
to be out here doing this and
It
trying
is
this. I can't
so
stand it.
smooth.
It is so smooth.
I am
It
so
accelerated faster than I thought it would.
It's
is.
so weird. You know what? You know what it reminds me of? Like, you know, I use like a GoPro camera, and you know, so you can have all the instability in the world, and it just gets stable. That's how it feels right now. This almost feels like how am I moving? That's what, so I think where I would love to show them what it looks like out of the water. So I have to get some footage of this guy
Yeah.
out of
You
the
really
water
do.
so that people can really appreciate what's going on right now.
Yes.
Ride is so smooth.
It's pretty. This is
quiet.
wild, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we're going 22 knots and we're having a normal conversation.
Wild.
It doesn't,
All right, so to land, I just pull back,
but then when you look, it's really
and that was the landing. And if you look behind, we're making a wave again.
Guys,
Yeah, exactly.
This will be the cheapest flight you've ever been on. I guarantee you that.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, no, it's an.
Do you have one model?
So we have this one. We have this the same platform by the central console, which might be nice for the water skiing and more like an active configuration. We have different roof configuration. This is the T-top. We also have a hard top that is good for it. It all depends on the user case. I mean, if you're only going out in nice weathers, the T-top is amazing. If you're looking to go out in rougher climates and all year round, then I recommend the hard top that is fully enclosed. We also sell them as an open configuration without a roof. And then we are also making a passenger ferry right now that is the P12. It's a 40-foot catamaran that can take 30 passengers. Wow. So we're sea launching that in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that.
Sophia, what are we at as far as charge right now? Where are we at?
We're at 63%.
So we started off at what? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
66 maybe? Was it 66?
68, I think, maybe.
Okay. So, and the top speed that we did today was 22 knots?
25 we did for a brief moment.
Okay.
But the interesting thing to know is that we are consuming as much energy in 5 knots as in 22 knots.
Oh, nice.
And this one actually has, I mean, the reason why I'm saying 69 kilowatt hours is because the boats that we're currently selling have that battery capacity. This one has a smaller one. This one only has 45 kilowatt hours.
I'll be honest with you. I thought it wasn't going to lift up because of me being on the boat.
No, it's very sturdy. I mean, the entire boat is very lightweight. It only weighs 3,500 pounds. It's everything that you see that isn't noticeably something else.
Trailer it.
You can trailer it. You lift up a retraction. Yeah, by the press of a button on the touchscreen, and then you slip it on the trailer.
And boat lift, same kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So you're all good. So it's quite nice, but we are having quite a lot of wind, so it'll be exciting to get in. Oh, of course.
This will be the highlight of the boat show for me. So
This has been the highlight of the show for you?
absolutely.
Yeah, Jay, you are local?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I'll see you this fall with
All right, guys. It
Yeah,
is.
with the Candela.
Right.
No, actually, I went on a bike spree and I bought 4 boats in the last 14 months.
Well, then you gotta add the
I
Candela.
have never boated before. Like, that's the
Okay.
problem. I don't even know what I want.
Okay.
So, it would be,
and what body of water are you on?
actually, the sailboat is here in Can Island,
Can
but
I?
Wasn't that hard?
the trawler is in Baltimore.
You did a fantastic job.
Thank you. I'm quite the boating amateur, so it's super easy to operate it. But even though I don't have a bow thruster, I would say you don't need a bow thruster on this boat because you're so stable. It's so easy to dock in. You can see that it's pretty cramped here. We have a lot of things going on, winds coming from the side and whatnot. So
Platform folds down.
yeah,
I'm going to go in there real
yeah,
quick if possible.
of course. I'll show you guys the cabin real quick. So we do have the cabin version, which is the DC, and we also have the center console. So it's designed to be seated right here. You can see that I have head clearance right about here, and then it's designed to be sleeping all the way over here. So I'm like 5'6", 7" maybe, and you can see that I fit comfortably.
And then is there a fill cushion in there as well for
Yeah.
that?
So you can fill this area as well. You just add an extra carbon plate and a cushion that we offer.
Sophia, where can they go online to get more information on this boat?
On www.candela.com.
Guys, thank you so much. Alfred Montaner Annapolis 2023 Boat Show. Awesome, guys.